So definitely, if you're planning to move, it could be for any reason. It could be to experience a new culture, new place, and it could be to move away from your actual reality, which you don't maybe don't like, you don't feel comfortable with, and then you maybe want to try something different to see if it actually goes better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do it. Yeah, do it. Life is just one. At least that's what we are aware of.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, you can always go back. You can always find other ways to find other solutions. But if you never do it, you will probably have the regret.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to another episode of Outsider. I'm Mattia and I'm your host. And today I'm joined by Giuseppe. He's one of my best friends. He's a great person. I have never met anyone that said, "Oh, I don't like Pepe." He's got such a great personality and I just love him as a friend. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of things. And his story is personally great as well. So if you guys like this stuff, please make sure you follow us on Instagram and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. And here's my conversation with Pepe. Hello.
Hello, man. How are you?
Thank you for coming uninvited.
It's a pleasure. As well. Of course, it's a pleasure.
I'm joking, obviously. How are you? You good?
I'm very good, thank you.
What have you been up to today?
What have I done?
Nothing at all.
Oh, I actually did some work this morning.
I cannot believe that.
I did, yeah. I am a personal trainer and online coach, and even if I don't work in person, I always do some work online.
You
So,
don't look like a personal trainer.
yeah, I know. So yeah, no, I did just some work. Watched the F1 race, which I regret because it was a fucking shit race,
Hmm.
and I woke up at fucking 6 to watch it. Can I say swear words? I can't, can I?
It's okay.
It's alright.
But who do you support in F1?
I'm Italian, so guess
I don't watch F1, so I don't know.
Ferrari, sir.
Yeah, but who's piloting the Ferrari? Who's the pilot?
Oh, the drivers.
The driver, yeah.
Charles Leclerc
Aren't they
and Lewis
called?
Hamilton.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It was Mercedes first. Lewis
Hamilton, yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, I thought I've seen him in some videos. I thought they were called pilots.
What do you mean?
And you correct me saying drivers. Was I
Oh
wrong?
no, the drivers is the most used.
Oh, right.
I think it's the actual word to use. I believe
Right.
pilot would probably be.
Like for a plane, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
believe
I'm
so,
just
yeah.
yeah.
Pilot is probably just like literally translated from Italian, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pilota, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
So driver. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. You're right. Tell us about your story. So, why wouldn't you start from? Why wouldn't you start from when you were a kid? Obviously, you're Italian, and you come from Calabria, from
Yes.
a village called. Don't
A
remember.
small village in Calabria called San Calogero.
San Calogero, yes, I did know that. I just forgot about it. And yeah, tell us about your life story when you were a kid. Start from when you were a child. There. What is your brightest memory?
Brightest memory. I mean, coming from a small village, I believe it's a common thing for everyone who comes from a small village, from a small context and reality, where you know everyone knows each other. So back then, I'm 28 now, so we're talking about fucking 20 years ago. Yeah, about 20 years, let's say. So yeah, my brightest memories for sure the time that I spent with my friends outside playing, my childhood, all those years. Of course, as I said, living in a small village, so everyone knew each other. Every kid knew. I knew everyone about my age, so
Was
we
it a
used to
big
play.
group?
Quite a big group actually.
Mm.
Yeah, it's small village, but compared to other small villages, let's say a bigger small village.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
What was the typical game that you guys used to play?
Football.
Yeah.
That's a very obvious answer.
Did
in
you
Italy-
guys play the German way? We call it tedesca, the German way, where you only have to. There's one guy as a goalkeeper,
Mhm.
and there's like a few more
Yeah.
guys, and you just have to hit the ball whilst it's in the air. So you're not allowed to the
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
to
yeah.
touch
And
the ground, and it's like points.
we call it another way. We
How
call
do
it undici
Oh, okay.
because it's everyone has got 11 points.
Yeah.
So if when you go in the goal and then you concede goals, whatever,
And then
and if you get the goal from a head shot, it will be 2 points.
yeah.
A kick, normal kick, one,
Yes, it was
and so
exactly
on.
the same. But in my village, excuse me, in my village was 21 points. We started with 21, and if you started as a first goalkeeper, it was 22 points, just one extra point because you went first.
But you know why? Because from where you are, you're not very good at playing football, so you needed a bit more points.
You're so funny, man.
Even though it's probably actually the opposite. Anyway.
I was really good at goalkeeping actually, but then everyone grew up and I stayed really short. So
Same.
so yeah, I didn't pursue that goalkeeping position. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to linger about
This is
those
definitely
games.
my brightest memory from my childhood. Of course, coming from a small context, but also another big difference from where I am now, which is the weather. The weather was lovely, so you could spend a lot of time outside. And so yeah, definitely this. I loved it. School, of course, I loved it as well. Of course, loved it in a way. Of course, you love being with your friends, sharing those years, which are very important together. So definitely very good memories from there. So yeah. What else? Yeah, this mainly my brightest memory for sure.
Did you have any dream coming up, growing up? Did you in those years? Do you recall having any dreams that you are either pursuing now, or that you realize that they were not worth pursuing? Maybe because they were like a childish dream, or because you know you just did not have the chance to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Dreams. I didn't have like a specific dream because I remember being good at different things, but not like excellent. You know, definitely I like playing football, but of course I didn't have the talent to.
No. I know
make
you're
it a
not
dream.
talented. We play together. I know you're not good.
And I liked music. I liked a lot of music when I was a kid. I still do actually play drums. I actually got an electric drum set, as you may know.
Which I will have to try soon.
At some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, music is definitely one of the things that I loved when I was a kid. I was actually quite talented. I remember when I was around that age, like 8, 10, I used to play everywhere with everything.
Yeah.
Like hands.
But with your hands, like drums.
Yeah, cutlery and stuff everywhere. Actually, and one of my gifts that I got from Christmas was if I call it gift, it was a huge present for me, a drum set, because I was playing everywhere with everything. But also because I studied music, I played drum set, not just drum set, percussions in general.
Yeah.
I was actually quite good xylophone. I think it's the right pronunciation in English. Yeah.
Yeah. What are those like? The sticks, right? And they have like two kind of balls. What are they made of? Is it plastic or? Because sometimes they're fluffy, right?
It depends, of course. Yeah. If you go for the expensive one, it could be, a better material. It could be covered in, something fluffy. I don't know what it is. Could be foam or whatever. I had just cheap ones, of course. So just a little stick with a plastic ball. Sorry. So yeah, music was a big thing for me. At least it was a passion of mine. I think I didn't pursue that, even though I still love it. It's a big part of my life, even though I just went back to playing like recently. But back then it was a big part. Really enjoyed it. The only thing is probably I was too shy. Was very shy. Was very shy, and I was kind of it was kind of difficult for me to try and
Open up, maybe,
yeah.
and try new things.
Now it would be different. I wouldn't care much, but back then it was yeah. I was struggling with that. Yeah.
Do you think that is it because you moved here and it's like a different place, different culture, and allowed you to open up a bit more as a person, or is it just because of the age you grew up and
Both, I
you
would say. I
matured?
would say both. I would say both. But yeah, of course, when you then move to a different context where you don't feel as judged, maybe. But then, of course, you grow up, you realize that it's all in your head.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you mean by you don't feel as judged? That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
What do you mean by that? Explain. Do you mean that in Italy you feel judged a little bit more?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, as a culture is I believe a little bit more judgy, or at least it shows a bit more judgment. It's you could see it more clearly. Maybe here a little bit less.
Have you got an example? Do you have like a memory where you actually felt judged?
Yeah, of course, with friends. Yeah, back then, but it's the age, and also being in a small context. When you live in a small village, everyone knows everyone. You've got the positive parts, which could be everyone knows everyone, everyone cares about everyone in a way.
Small community. Yeah.
Everyone says hi to everyone and so on. But at the same time, everyone talks about everyone as well. So when you're in a small context, you feel a little bit more judged, I believe. So you are afraid of doing something.
I remember those feelings, but still, we want you up as well here as a group.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit older now, and I
So
acknowledged my flaws and stuff. So.
Yeah, same. That's part of growing up, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I actually was ill last week, so I'm a little bit.
That's right. It's fine. Maybe they will hate you for that because they're here all the time in the microphone. So if I get 0 views, it's all you.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going back to what you said. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Small context, so it's different. Slightly different culture in that thing. Actually, different culture. But it's also the age. It's also the fact that I live in a definitely bigger context.
Yeah.
So my connection is not as close, apart from like you or my other friends. So you feel like people care less in a way,
Mm-hmm.
So,
strangers feel care less. Yeah.
So when you see that, when you actually acknowledge that people don't care about you, so then you just do whatever you like,
Yeah.
Because it's what you enjoy, it's what you want to do, and what other people think doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I believe the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just you just go out here, they don't even look at you in the face, and when you walk around your small village in Italy, everyone looks at you just to make sure that they recognize you, and then they stop you, and then like
basically you walk with your hands.
Yes, it feels like that, right?
Yeah. Which means that you're saying hi to people, not like
Yeah. And also the little ladies, they stop you and they're like, "Who's your father? Who's your mom?
Yeah.
Who's your auntie?"
Of course, yeah.
And they just want to know your like
the
family
journalists.
tree, and
journalists.
and you're like there with all the flashes of the cameras, like, I can't answer the questions right now. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
Do you miss that life, or do you rather be, do you prefer this life that you have now?
I like a mix, because as a person, I'm an introverted person, so I like to be on my own. But I also, being Italian and coming from a more open culture compared to the English one, I miss that thing a little bit. Of course, when you see people, you know them, just say hi,
Yeah.
I think to me it sounds like a very simple concept. Well, here I don't see that thing. For example, I don't know, if you go sorry,
That's okay.
if you go let's say you go outside, you go drinking, partying, whatever, you meet a few people, you have the best night of your life
with them.
with them. The day after, you see each other. You don't even say hi. You know,
Yeah,
this is one thing that to me is very weird.
I felt that they need more than that here, just than a night out
Yeah, what I've
to make friends.
what I've experienced is a little bit more distant culture,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more antisocial in a way.
Yeah, more private
Yeah,
sort of
more
thing.
private. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone says that. So far, everyone I've had here and everyone I talked to, which is an outsider just like us, they always say that as well.
Yeah, it's a
And,
different culture, you know.
Yeah, I
We are
don't.
used to it in a different way, so
Yeah,
to us, it feels weird,
Yeah.
but maybe to them that is how they grew up.
yeah.
You know.
I'm so used to it now though that I sort of have become like that as well. If I
That's why you never say, "Ah, you fucking bastard."
I say it to you, but if I do meet someone new, I don't get that excited of being like, oh yeah, I made a new friend. You know, that's how.
I have actually a theory about it. I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but
What's that? Let's hear.
the weather.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think countries that have warmer weather, like more sunny, they are more keen to be more open.
And friendship.
Yeah,
like,
because you spend more time outside.
Yeah.
Also the weather affects me, affects my
Mental health.
mental health, my what is called mood.
Yes, no,
So
that
of
is
course,
very
when you
true.
are in a more positive mood, you are more keen to, speak,
I mean, yeah,
socialize.
yeah. That is totally fair. It's a fair point. It's a very fair point, and but I've never researched it. Like, I don't know if there's an actual study
Yeah, no,
to support this theory.
I'm pretty sure there is, to be honest, but this is what I experienced myself.
Yeah.
And also, if you think about it, the difference between, even though, okay, let's talk about the south. If you compare the south of Italy, it's a little bit nicer weather compared to England. Also, the lifestyle. England is a little bit more indoorsy lifestyle.
You don't have to go as far as England. You can just go to Milan.
Yeah, that's why I said.
You know.
Yeah.
Or yeah, in the Alps as well. Obviously, there's like freezing there.
Yeah.
It's like there's snow pretty much 10 months a year, and I felt the same. Like, people are not very. It's not like that they're not friendly. It's just a different. It seems like a different culture altogether.
Yeah, just
Wait, mate,
Sorry.
you're pissing me off right now. Please stop.
I'm pissing off myself as well. So.
Jokes apart, I've spoken with some Brazilian people, and
Mhm.
the weather there is like hot, and they're like us. They've got the same ways, the same. They're just like us, to a point that I thought, like, bro, are you sure you're not Italian? Because we talk about the same things, and we got the same ways to talk and to greet each other and to be friends and things like that. So
Yeah, different relationships between us, different ways to communicate and stuff.
yes,
But yeah, no, as you said, it's not that maybe they don't care or anything. It's just a different approach. I
yeah.
believe.
No, like I've always said, once they get to know you, they will be your friends, and it feels like there's like a higher wall to climb. Like, as we're Italians, you have to climb like a meter wall to get,
Yeah.
to befriend us.
After 5 minutes, you're best friends
Yeah,
forever.
you're friends, and that's it. You're gonna be my friend. Give me your WhatsApp. We'll text you tomorrow for a coffee.
Yeah.
We'll see each other. Blah blah blah. In here, no, it's like a 5 to 10 meter wall, and you have to. And it's snowing. Sometimes it's snowing. Sometimes it's gonna be rainy. Sometimes it's windy.
You need to one hand climb it.
Yes, but once you climb that wall, they're your friends. They know you. They know who you are, and they're like, oh yeah, he's a good bloke, innit? And they become your friends, and they're like just normal people.
Yeah.
Because at first you think, are they normal people? And then you realize they are normal people.
Just different culture in general. different background.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I mean, yeah. Do you love it in here? How-
What's again?
Do you love it in here? How long have you been here for now?
Been here since September 2020.
2010. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I moved in the middle of COVID, basically.
yeah. Do you find yourself thinking about coming back, going back to Italy, or moving away from here somewhere else? L- Forget work. Forget
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
I mean, coming from my context, which is nice weather, lovely food, uh, I struggle sometimes here, uh, as well as I believe everyone who lived in the same, situation as me.
Yeah.
So definitely, the weather is a big thing for me. Uh, Thinking about living in a place where weather is never gonna be like you were used to, it's a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are things that I like, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Um, if I will stay here, I don't know. To be honest, right? I don't. I'm not even thinking about it that much. Of course, uh, it would be nice to move somewhere where weather would be nice, food would be nice.
Food is nice here, right? British food is nice. I got shepherd's pie, fish and
Yeah,
chips.
yeah. The proper English food is not
Oh
bad.
yeah, if you go to
Proper
a
English food is
yeah,
not bad.
I love roast dinner. I
Mhm.
love shepherd's pie. To not be confused with cottage pie. I love
Mm.
lamb mince.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
the other cottage pie is really nice as well, but shepherd's pie is top for me.
Yeah, the proper
Mm.
food is good. The thing is that apart from some ingredients that are the quality is better in Italy
What do you mean?
because of the weather, of course. Because you
Oh,
have to import them here, so of
yeah, I
course the
see what you
quality is not as good.
No, sorry, I see what you mean now.
But I think it's the culture as well. Like um, in Italy, food is a big thing, you know,
Yeah.
for in every family.
Yeah.
Here, a bit less, I believe, for what I've seen, for what I experienced. You know, in Italy, everyone would, or at least the majority of people would cook their own food. You know, here is a bit more just food as something just to eat. You know,
Well,
just to survive.
yeah, get deeper into that thought. As in, what do you mean by that? Give an example of an Italian day, for example, and an example of a day here in
Yeah, no,
UK.
because it's also related to the culture as well. As I said, food is
Yeah.
very cultural in Italy, so it's not just the food itself, but it's also what's around the food,
Yeah.
which could be, lunch spent with your family or friends or co-workers if you're at work. So it's not just food; it's the actual thing, the actual time that you spend eating
Yeah.
and sharing the food with the people you love and the
Yeah.
people you spend your day with.
Lunch is a big thing in Italy, isn't it?
Yeah, lunch a big thing. Every meal, I would say.
Yeah, no, but lunch is
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like it's not as here. There's no lunch. Yes, there is the word lunch,
yeah, but
and
it's
you
like a
might
quick meal
think,
that you have to,
yeah,
eat as quick as you can to then go back to work.
sandwich, some crisps, some maybe a fruit, something like that. Quick fag,
Yeah.
and go back to work. But I remember in Italy when I used to work in the fields, right? Planting and harvesting artichokes. Horrible job. I remember my lunch and my co-workers' lunch. They were like, chicken thighs with potatoes, roast
Yeah.
chicken, and pasta like carbonara or
Yeah.
well, maybe not carbonara in that weather, but I don't know, parmigiana.
Hmm.
For people who don't know what parmigiana is basically lasagna, but instead of the pasta sheets, you just put aubergine. So that's a really good meal, and yeah, stuff like that in here. When I came here, I brought those, I brought that kind of
Yeah.
habit with me, and people used to look at me like that, and I'm like, why are they looking at me? Like, I'm just having lunch, and they're just having like some sandwiches and things like that, and I wasn't used to it. But now, one thing that I haven't got anymore is the lunch habit.
Mm. Yeah. Of course, sometimes you have to adapt. I myself, that I've got this thing habit in my culture. Here, I don't do it very much, to be honest. I mean, as I said, I'm a personal trainer, online coach, and myself, I've got the goal to compete in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So of course, it's a completely different lifestyle. It's not about. It's in my case, it's actually food for a purpose.
Yeah,
So
that is a
it's
different
different.
context.
Uh,
Probably another Italian guy that is living in Italy and is looking towards the same goals as you is probably the same as you, as in he has to look at food for that purpose. So you're not the only one, probably.
It's not like the standard would be like breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have between 4 and 5 meals a day, and of course I need to fit my meals in between clients because of course I'm self-employed as well, so I don't have like a steady schedule.
Yeah.
So of course when I work, I can't
Yeah.
have this habit, unfortunately. Even
No,
though I
no.
try when I got the chance to cook a nice meal if I can. I'm trying to actually put a bit more effort into it, especially on my days off, because I like cooking. But of course, sometimes I try to be as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Being on my own, meal prepping, cooking,
Yeah.
doing the grown-up stuff.
Yeah. Busy
taking
schedule.
Taking care of the house, work, and all that stuff.
But it's fair to say that an Italian that doesn't like to cook cannot be called an Italian. What
Half
was
Italian.
what? Sorry.
Half Italian.
Yeah, half Italian.
I mean, to be honest, I don't like coffee, so I could be a half Italian
Oh
as
my
well.
god, get off my house. What was the biggest challenge you faced as a child, as a kid, as a teenager, whatever you want?
I think it's related to what I was saying earlier about music for me. Just being shy, being very introverted. I think that one thing was a big challenge for me. That was what I worked a lot towards trying to improve on that thing, because of course I used to suffer that thing. I was like limiting myself in a way, because when you are not yourself, when you're like pulling, how do you say it, like limit yourself, let's say.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
You never express your real potential,
You feel like you're in a bubble and you can't just get out. How did you tackle that fear, that habit of being shy?
Mainly awareness, I believe. Awareness, understanding that it's all in your head, and the fear of, I think being shy means that you're afraid of being judged.
Yeah.
Maybe originally from your parents, I believe.
What do you mean? They put it into
No. It's like no. Not that if they did anything. Of course, everyone has got their own experience. I'm not going to go into details, but of course, everything that you take with you along the way comes from childhood.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Definitely the fear of being judged or let people down, that then keeps you in the state of trying to do everything that you can to make sure that people around you get what they want,
Yeah.
So you never express yourself because
People pleaser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. People
Yeah.
pleaser. So that thing was one thing that I had to work to overcome, which helped me some things, but not in the right way, I believe. Because of course, if you keep focusing on pleasing people, you're never gonna please yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's fun. It's so good when you realize that, and it feels like you open up. You actually open your eyes for the first time, and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna please anyone else. I'm gonna come first. And I think this is every man goes through this, unless you're like unless you're a little bit gifted, and I always felt some friends of mine, they were a little bit ahead of me back in the day, back when I was like a teenager. and obviously I was a late boomer,
Mm-hmm.
bloomer, not boomer.
You're a boomer as well.
I'm a boomer.
Gray hair at 30 years old.
Thanks, man. But yeah, everyone's got their own life. You know?
Yeah, no, but also, actually, I like, um, so as I said, it comes from awareness. But of course, you're not aware of it when you are in that state of mind. So you have to look for the information, or the information will come at you at some point, but you have to be open to, accept
Assimilate it. Yeah.
the
How did you
information.
how did you realize that you were in that bubble?
A lot of self-reflecting thoughts and stuff, but also reading
Yeah.
videos and stuff. But then once you actually open your eyes, you start analyzing everything. You're starting to see everything as a big picture, a bigger picture. Seeing
Yeah.
it from the outside, you then start to see how the reality actually was, and then you see, oh shit, that's fucking. So yeah, definitely this. And then if you think about it, people pleasing, you could say that it's something to please others, but if you think deeply about it, you're actually doing it to keep yourself safe. So it's a way of manipulating others as well. If you think, because you're not showing who you really are,
Yeah.
just to make sure that people will like you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So once I realized that, then I said, "Fuck, that's true, man." So from there, I said, "No, I'm never gonna not be me."
Yeah.
Of course, you have to be respectful and you have to be, communicate in the right way.
Yeah.
But if there's something that you don't like, you should
You should say so.
express yourself, your needs, your will, your intentions and stuff, and not just do what you think because you know what you need to do. Because
Yeah.
when you're at the point, you've done so much that you know what you need to do to please others.
Yeah.
That you don't do what you know you need to do to please others, but you do what you think is right for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do it to please others, but you do it to make sure that you're respecting yourself.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. It is a tough state of mind to be in. As
Yeah,
well.
but I think many people go through this. I believe, yeah.
I think it's sort of natural to go through these,
Yeah.
but the most important thing to do at that state is to actually recognize that, as you said,
Yeah, being aware. Yeah.
being aware and get out of it and build your own. No, not build your own personality, but be aware of your own personality, accept your flaws, and
Of your
accept.
patterns, let's say.
Yeah.
Let's call them.
Yeah. So you come from the south of Italy.
Mm-hmm.
You had a nice childhood. Okay, you were shy, but you had a nice group of friends.
Yeah, yeah.
You like to play the drums. You
But-
like the food.
Just 1 second. I was shy. After a certain age, I started to become shy. So I think it probably was coming from some, how would you say it? Disappointments, let's say. So that you don't want to feel that thing anymore. So you just try to then adapt to others. But yeah, no, I'm saying this because I remember when I was a kid, as a personality, I was fucking crazy.
What do you mean?
I liked my personality, which I'm trying to show it more now.
Right.
So then I started to close up a little bit.
So you were okay, as in like you were yourself as a kid,
As
and
a
then
kid, yeah.
as a
That's why
teenager.
I have great memories about my childhood,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
was myself, was just fucking having fun,
Yeah, and then when you were a teenager, you were a
Then I
little bit more
started to-
self-conscious, and
yeah.
maybe because you were uglier than as a kid.
I still am. So.
Sorry about that. But yeah,
It's the truth, yeah.
after all these, obviously, your family being there, great food and sun and all this stuff. What made you decide to leave that and pursue a new life here in the UK?
So I'll give you a little bit of context. So after school, I had 3 options in my head. One was continuing with music, but then I actually put that thing aside because I was still shy. So I put that thing aside. Sports in general, because why are you laughing?
Because I thought you said I was a bit shite.
As well, yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Um, Sports back then were a big thing, and it still is, of course. Now it's my job. So, when I finished with school, I had, let's say, two options: studying languages, which was one of my biggest passions as well as training in the gym or sports in general. So
Yeah.
I want to study either languages or how is it called in English? Educazione fisica. No, educazione fisica. Sorry. Sports science. Let's say. Now I don't remember what it's called in English.
I think sports science might be
Sports
the best
science.
for that.
Scienze motorie, it's in Italian. So I
Yeah.
think it's sports science.
Yeah, sports science.
So yeah, these were my two options. I went for languages, but I still kept training, of course. I went for languages. So then
Excuse
after
me. Sorry. What do you mean? I kept training, of course. So you went to for languages and you.
but still kept the sports side of me, of myself, alive.
So you kept training,
I kept
as in like
training.
you went to the gym, lifting
yeah,
weights and things
yeah.
like that while you were studying
Yeah.
languages.
Yeah.
Okay,
Studied
sorry.
languages. I went to university, studied languages, and after I got my degree, since I wasn't very satisfied of my English, because I studied languages, I studied English and Spanish.
Hmm.
So yeah, I wasn't very satisfied about my English, because of course, if you got a degree in languages, it means you should be speaking a good English at
Yeah.
least. I'm
They didn't teach you very well, didn't they?
I'm still trying to learn. So yeah, and since I wasn't I wasn't happy about my English, then I decided that I want to improve my English.
Sure.
My brother was living here already, so I said, yeah, I'm just gonna go to England. Main goal to improve my English, but also to as an experience, because I believe life is about experiences.
Yeah.
So
What was your train of thought when you were about to leave? Were you thinking, I'm gonna stay there a few years? Or were you more open, as in, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go there and see what happens.
I didn't have any long-term plan. Just wanted to take this as an experience, improve my English as much as possible, and yeah, try to experience a new culture, a new place, new country, and yeah, this was the main thing. I didn't have like a long-term goal. Then of course I moved here. As I said, I moved in the middle of COVID, so let's say the first year wasn't the best.
Yeah.
To me, it was just work and home.
Yeah.
Work home. I mean, I believe, as for everyone else, actually, I could actually go outside to work because I was working as delivery driver. So I moved here. That wasn't my goal, of course, as delivery driver. My goal was to improve my English. But of course, being in the middle of COVID, I didn't have many options, and also I didn't have any experience in the UK.
Yeah.
So
You had to go for
I
the
didn't
first.
have many options, even more. So one of the few options was delivery driver to start straight away. Of course, I wasn't on my own, but I needed money. So I started to do that job, and yeah, the first year was just home work.
So you didn't get to improve or at least test your English
no.
capabilities.
Apart from hello, thank you, bye.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Did your family support your decision of coming here, or were they, well, not against it, but
Yeah, no, they support it. At least, of course, our mums are.
yeah? What did she say to
So-
you?
She didn't say stay here, don't go, but of course, it's always difficult to let your child, I mean your son, leave. Not just moving to another city, but moving to another country, which I think mentally is different.
Yeah, she knew she was not going to see you as often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So no, they were definitely not against it because they've never actually, um, what's the word?
I don't know. You tell me, mate. You're talking.
They never said, don't do this thing or don't do that. They always let me free.
They never oppressed you
Yeah.
on your decisions.
So this is actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they were not against. No, definitely
Yeah.
not. So I moved here. After the first year, which was quite difficult, then I started to actually move towards my goal, which was trying to practice my English as much as possible so that I could improve it. Did I improve it? Maybe a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
not. We don't know.
I mean, we're having a conversation now. It might not be perfect, but hey, we can understand each other. People do understand us. You've got a job where you have to speak in English because obviously we're in the UK, unless you've got an Italian.
Majority of my
Yeah.
clients are
And,
English speakers. Yeah.
For a place to us that we came to the conclusion that we have to learn a language to, be able to
Yeah.
communicate with other people. Most people here, they don't know anything about English here. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
and obviously they don't need to. Like, I'm not saying they have to. I'm just saying, I actually had a lot of compliments from like British people saying we don't know anything but English and you guys speak two languages, and obviously we realize our accent is still there.
Yeah.
The English, is not perfect, but who cares? Like, as long as you
Yeah.
understand me and we can communicate, that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of the accent, I actually recently, let's say, realized that people, especially English people, love the Italian accent.
You mean English girls, right?
And men, for those who are
Yeah.
homosexual.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. No, jokes apart, yeah. Jokes aside, actually. Because the reason why I said that is because at the beginning I was trying to hide my accent.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Trying to make a British accent? Oh my god.
Or at least try and make it as standard as possible.
What did they say? Are you from? I don't want to say that, but what did they say?
I don't know, to be honest.
At first, they thought I was.
No one ever said anything, but people can tell you know English.
Oh yeah. At first, I used to speak a better English here in my first year of being here than now, because I learned my English from my British grandparents. So my English was really good, and then I started to.
You know what happened?
I started to meet foreign people from Romania, Moldova, from Italian people. I actually met my first Italian friend, which is still Matteo, you know him, back in the day in 2016. And I started to go out with them. Their English wasn't very good, so I started talking like them because we started to go out, and my English just deteriorated.
Yeah, declined.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as like, and I don't know why I never talked like before, because my girlfriend's English, we talk every day, and my English never went up again to that standard.
It's probably because you were putting a lot of effort into, try and speak the proper way.
I actually no.
No?
I was just normal talk,
All right.
and yeah, I don't know why it's a weird feeling. I think
This is probably your.
going from 0 to 100,
Mm-hmm.
and then from 100 to 60 or even lower
You're very
sometimes.
generous, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I just can't. I cannot even talk with my girlfriend. She has to repeat things 3-4 times, especially at night time when I'm tired.
Yeah, same. In
And
the
she's
morning
like,
as well.
Yeah.
Early mornings. I couldn't even speak in Italian.
Sometimes I talk to her in Italian.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What time is it in Italian?" And she's like, "Huh?" Like, "What time is it, babe? You talking to me in Italian?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." What time is it in English? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But what was your first impression when you arrived here? Do you have any good or bad memory about it?
Good memories for sure. Apart from, actually no, not even the weather, because when I moved here, it was sunny for 2 weeks straight. So yeah, first impression was, damn, that's good, that's nice, because as I said, I come from a small village, from a small context. That's fucking nothing apart from a few things and friends and family,
Mhm.
you know. So I came here like much bigger town.
Yeah.
That's everything you need, you know. You got food shops like 5 minutes away. You got huge gyms compared to where I was. You've got any kind of service you like, any kind of that if you come from a small context, you think it's fucking like another world, you know.
Yeah.
That you know. So definitely a nice impression. Um, difficult, of course, because as I said, I moved here. Not like I had to move, you know, to escape from something negative.
Yeah.
Just came here to improve my English and to make some experience, you know.
Yeah.
So of course it was difficult because I left a positive context to me because was university, I was enjoying it. I was spending time with my friends. I was actually living with two of my best friends there. So definitely positive context. I loved studying there. I love spending time there, studying a little bit less. But
Yeah. You love the general
yeah,
university
it was a good
life.
experience.
Yeah,
It
I
was a
see
really
what you
good
mean.
experience. I've got good memories, bad and good, but mainly good. So as I said, I moved here. You know, you move away from your friends, your family, and what for you it's known. You know, and then you move to the unknown.
Yeah.
So of course a bit scary. The first month was a bit challenging,
Yeah.
as I believe for everyone else.
Would you do this again
Yeah,
if you had to
100%.
choose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But if it wouldn't be England, it could be anywhere else.
What do you think this experience gave you as a thing to put in your bag of life?
Uh, Awareness, growth in general.
Awareness of what?
Of again, everything is in your head. Wherever you go, everyone experiences the same things. It's just bigger or smaller context,
Yeah.
but it's just same in a different scale. So there's not much difference,
Yeah.
you know.
Makes sense.
So if you come again from a small village and you think about, for example, America, you think like, wow, that must be another planet,
Yeah.
you know. But then if you actually experience it, there's just normal people living in there.
Yeah. Because there are normal people living in there too,
Yeah.
and maybe if
Just
they
of
go
course
to
they have lived in a different place. They have lived different experiences. Maybe they have definitely most of them are more talented, but again, they lived in a different context.
how are they more talented?
Some people are more talented, but it also depends on where you come from. What did you do in the most important years of your life, which is, I believe, childhood
Yeah.
until you're a teenager. You know, if, for example, we were talking about F1 earlier. Who God knows how many really talented drivers there could be in fucking the, like, you know, in the third
Papua New
world.
Guinea,
Yeah, you
let's
know,
say.
the third world. Yeah,
I'm just trying to understand what you were about to say.
yeah,
So carry on. Sorry.
yeah. That's what I meant. You know, so it depends on where you grow up, what you do when you grow up. Um, who
So
are the
your
people
point-
around you that
I'm,
guide you?
I'm
know?
just trying to understand your point. Your point being that it depends where you live.
Yeah. For example, I'll give you an example of my brother as well. He played football.
Yeah.
He got to the point to play professional level.
Yeah. Semi-pro.
Semi-pro,
Right.
yeah. No, actually, he had a few appearances in pro.
Serie D. It was,
And
right?
Serie C as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Just a few appearances. He was very young.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, just to compare the context, Calabria, south of Italy, the poorest fucking place in Italy, compared to, for example, the north, Milan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're 3, 4, 5 years old. You start learning from the best.
Right.
You've got the best facilities. You've got everything. You come from a small context. People don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
People know nothing.
There are a few people
You know?
coming from nothing that made it great. Like, I think Gattuso was
From
one
the
of
south,
them.
you mean? Yeah, of course.
No, not
but
necessarily from the south. I'm just saying from nothing.
Ah,
It
yeah,
can be-
from nothing.
yeah.
I heard north.
No, from nothing. And that's the people that I admire the most. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo. There's always this
But
classical
Cristiano,
debate.
there's fucking
There's always
probably 10 in the world.
pardon.
10 in the world.
Cristiano
And one
Ronaldo.
that we know. Yeah.
I'm not talking about R9. I'm talking about
Yeah. I know.
CR7. Yeah. Obviously, he came from nothing as well, sort of, right? I think his father was bricklayer. I'm not entirely sure. But
Maybe not bricklayer, but it wasn't
something-
definitely a
he
rich
didn't-
person.
Yeah, it didn't come from a rich background, as far as I am aware. Please, if you know more from this, just let me know. But my point being, he came from nothing, and his perseverance, he just wanted that. He just wanted that. He just worked, and he worked, and he worked. And there's always this debate: who's the GOAT, Messi or
Yeah.
Ronaldo?
But here, sorry if I interrupt you.
One second. And the thing I love most about Messi is that he's flawless. He's so smooth in his movements, and he just like it's poetry, right? When he's on the pitch. But Ronaldo, you can tell he's more. I can't find the word. It's more aggressive. It's more like it's not as.
He had to work more to get what he wanted. Yeah.
If you look at the background, what he had to do to get to that level, and he's still playing to this date. To this day, he's still playing, and I admire people like that. That is my point. Like, if you come from nothing and you work your ass off, and you make it, you'll have my respect. For the life.
Yeah, what I'm referring to the bigger numbers.
Yeah.
The average person born in the south of Italy, the average person born in Milan. Born in Milan. Then they will. There's definitely more chances that the one born in Milan will go higher than the one born. And I'm just giving an example.
Can I challenge that?
Yeah, go on.
If a person born in Milan,
Mm-hmm.
and we are talking about Milan, but it could be any
be
other
anything,
place.
just
to like
more
just
advanced
to understand,
context.
more advanced context. So we're talking about Milan now. I'm gonna carry on about Milan. I don't want anyone to take offense. These days, everyone takes offense. Anyway,
Shut up.
They start from an advantageous point straight away, and some people get lazy, right? When you have opportunities straight away, and you have those opportunities straight away, you might lack the will to actually go for it. So if you have the will to go for it and you have the opportunities, then you settle, right? But there's these people that have lesser opportunities, but they want it so much that they put all of their resources into it, and they actually make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just I'm talking about the number, meaning there's fewer people who do this than because you are just one of the few.
Yeah.
Well, one of the few which probably are the best, let's say, from that small context. Here, an average person with a lot of work spent with more knowledge people and with better facilities, whatever, more time spent there will be more people coming out of that context compared to here. It's like, for example, stupid example, but let's talk about sperm. If there's
Oh, you get all shy talking about sperm. Come on, man. You're an adult.
No, I'm not getting shy. But
You're getting silly. You're like, oh, let's talk about sperm, and you just laugh. Let's talk about sperm like men.
Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get actually to the point. It's probably a stupid.
No, nothing is stupid. If you're trying
Example.
to make a point and you got it in your head, just get it out the way you want, as long as we understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let's say one man who's got few sperm,
Mm-hmm.
a little sperm, and so they will. I don't know how to say it. They will struggle a bit more to get to the end point.
Yeah, if there's a
Yes.
man with less sperm than a man
Yeah,
with
I think it's actually probably it would work probably better if the woman welcomes the sperm. Let's say. Otherwise, let's say that the woman will kill the sperm. So that it would be like a fucking race, and
Yeah.
then a very few will get to the end.
Right. Mm.
While there, consider a woman who doesn't have any issue,
Yeah.
whatever. Don't want to call it issue, but
Yeah.
it's more likely that more sperm will come to,
The end of the line.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, makes sense. Can I challenge
Very
that
stupid
again?
example, I guess.
No. Like I said, like everyone's got their own ideas. Some people have a more better way to say things in English. English is not your first language, so you've got
No,
ideas
I
that
wouldn't-
Yeah. Anyway, to challenge that, my idea is think about the UK and think about Italy, right? Why do people here in the UK get a job easy, right? You can easily find a job, right? Like it's quite easy compared to Italy to find a job, right? But you see so many homeless people around, and you think, fucking hell, this is the UK. Everyone that really wants a job can find one, right? How come there's so many homeless people around? Because it's the maybe it's human nature. Like I said before, if you got the chance, and you know that you got the chance, maybe you're not even gonna bother taking it. Of course, maybe some of them had some problems with the family and things like that. But
this is a bit tricky, to be honest,
it is tricky, and
because we are talking about jobs.
yeah,
So what the society tells you to do, maybe
I thought we were talking about
homeless.
making it to a certain point.
Yeah, no, it just we were talking about homeless, and so it all depends on what they want to get from out of it, because they don't want to adapt, let's say, to the.
Well, it's sleeping on the street better than. I don't think any of them, if they had like a nice life, a nice house, a nice wife, a nice career, I don't think any of them would go back to being a homeless guy or girl, for that matter.
We don't know.
Think about it, like, be rational. Would you? Like, if you're homeless and then
Yeah, well,
you had the chance, like,
this is a difficult topic, I would say, because there's a lot to talk about.
yeah. I was just trying to add the two things together when you said about the chances that one has being in Milan,
Yeah.
right, and being from the south. You said there's more chances if you're from Milan because there's more better places to go for, to become someone or something, right? So I put the example in a bigger picture. Italy and UK. Obviously, UK's got more job possibilities.
Oh, the reason why I said that, because in this case it's different. Just maybe for some people it might be a choice, That's what I'm saying.
I strongly disagree. I don't think anyone chooses to be homeless, mate. Come on,
But
think about it. They choose to
maybe
pursue
they
their
choose not
life.
to. They choose not to. Stick to what people impose to them. It
You're
could be.
thinking about
I don't know.
getting a job, getting
For
buying
example,
a house,
there's
like
many people who. I think we talked about this. Do you remember that guy who went to live on his own in an island?
No, I don't remember.
I think he's actually Italian. He's in Italy, yeah. He's probably Sardinia. He's from Sardinia.
I'm
So,
from Sardinia. Yeah. Well, I don't remember this guy.
so there's this old man who at some point decided to live on his own on a island.
Yeah.
There's just
Where?
him. Don't remember. But yeah, what I'm saying is, he decided to move there with nothing, and to him is freedom. Maybe I'm saying that for some people who decide to live on the street, maybe for them, decision that they make consciously. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's a very tricky topic.
But again, that's why I was disagreeing with you. And before you said that, I was about to say that as well. If you really want to be free and choose freedom, not to choose the rules of society, where you have to pay taxes, get a job, buy a house, have family, by the age of 25, and so on, you might as well just go and live like this guy you're talking about. Go and live on your own, but be. Yes, is he homeless or does he live somewhere in this island?
I think he's got a place.
Right,
to
so
live.
he's not homeless. He chose freedom.
Yeah,
He didn't
but
choose
they might be the same for
homelessness.
them, for homeless people. I've seen
I
a few
don't
people
know.
who actually chose. Maybe it's not for the majority of them. I don't know, but
I mean,
we
I
don't know.
can't.
That's what I'm saying.
I have my own opinion, and that
Yeah,
just
it's a bit tricky topic.
It's
I
a
would
bit,
say.
yeah, it's a bit tricky. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, coming back to what we were talking about
Yeah, I
before,
actually lost
when you,
everything. I don't
yeah,
know
but I mean
what we're
that's the
talking
best
about.
thing. Like I love doing. That's why I wanted to do this, because we can get into conversations, and yeah. Um. When you came here to the UK, we were talking about when came here to the UK, and the question was, the question that I'm gonna ask you is, what made you think like, wow, this place is really different? What got your attention and be like, this is really totally different from Italy?
First of all, the look.
The look.
Yeah, like the way it's structured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't know back then, but if you see now, basically the way England is structured is basically the same everywhere.
Yeah.
At least the the residential area,
Right.
residential areas.
Yeah.
They are all the same structure. Wherever you go, it looks all the same.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the thing. This is the actual footprint, let's say. So you can tell straight away it's England. You can tell straight away it's different from everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, coming from that context, moved here. I said, oh shit, that looks nice. Because
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was different. It does look nice. So definitely the look, the organization, which is nice.
Do you prefer how England looks rather than Italy, or do you prefer the randomness of Italian villages
I
where you
think
get just lost
now
in?
I prefer more the uh, difference, meaning every place to have their own thing, like their own specific
Yeah,
look.
yeah. No, I'm asking what do you like? The randomness of an Italian
Yeah,
village?
now
or-
I do like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather
Back
than
then it was impressive to see.
Hmm.
Impressive probably not the right word, but it was different to me. So
Y-
that's the thing that impressed me.
Yeah, it's nice when you go back on holiday, and maybe when you go back to Italy for on holiday, you have more time because obviously you're not at work or anything. You just might decide to go to a place that you've never visited. Maybe it's just an hour away from your village, but you've never visited for some reason. And I went to this place in Sardinia called Bosa, Bosa. For anyone going to Sardinia, go visit this little town. It's amazing. And we just got lost inside these little tiny streets inside this little town, and it's just so picturesque.
Mhm.
And they're like all colorful. Like you tune out when there's like a square with flowers in the middle of it, and then you just carry on, and there's like very narrow streets with like all the grass, sorry, not grass, all the plants from the houses, and It's like, wow. And you don't see these things here in the UK. I think I've never seen anything like that anyway.
And
I
there
might
are
be
some
wrong.
small villages.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Like in the Cotswolds here,
Cotswolds, yeah.
there's like some nice villages, but they're not gonna be the same. They're not
Yeah,
gonna be
they're
the
definitely
same.
gonna see. No, but I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
There's more variety.
Mm.
There's like wherever you go, there's something characteristic and different from. So even if you move just like a few minutes away,
Mm-hmm.
from one village to another, while here the majority of the places look more or less the same.
Yeah.
Apart from like um, for example, Cotswolds, like specific places.
Yeah.
They're like touristic places. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, it's a valid point.
What was the question? Yeah, again, just this one.
No, yeah, we're just talking. I've got a question now though. Did you find any struggle when you came here, apart from the language, obviously? What was the biggest struggle that you faced here?
Mm, yeah, as I said, I moved from positive experience for me. So I moved here, moved away from my family, friends. So mentally, that was a challenge for
Mm.
sure.
No, but I'm talking about um. That is more of a. I know what you mean, but I mean like here, for example, the language struggle, or
Yeah,
I don't know, finding a way to live, not finding yourself in the right
feeling like you
place,
don't. Yeah,
like
yeah,
feeling like a bit
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
out.
Language, culture, which is different.
Mm.
Um, the weather.
You are so set on the
Yeah,
weather, aren't
yeah, the
you?
weather. I am so like my mood depends a lot from the
Yeah.
weather. Not a lot, but it
Yeah.
does make it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the language at first, even though I studied languages,
Mm-hmm.
but it was definitely difficult because of course when you study like you speak English for no more than a couple of hours, 2-3 hours a week max. To then move here when you have whatever you do, you need to speak the language.
Yeah.
So that was the challenge at first. You know, you need to go to the mechanic. I've never studied any car part. You know,
Yeah.
so just apart from the engine, steering wheel. But of course, yeah, you need to go to the mechanic. You need to explain then. You need to explain then the situation. If then they talk to you and say something specific, you have no idea what they're talking about. So that context is uncomfortable at first,
But
but it makes you grow for sure because then you have to adapt.
that's what I was about to ask. I liked a lot when I didn't know something. Of course, it's uncomfortable when you don't know that certain word, but then when you integrate that word into your vocabulary and you add it and you start using it yourself, it's just
It felt every day felt like a challenge because every day you have to do something different, and it's something that you probably didn't experience with that language, because language is not just about words. Whatever.
it's the way you say things.
It applied in the specific context,
Yeah.
because for any specific I've never used context so many times in my life, to be honest. So
This is a context. We're using the word context a lot.
so yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, because of course you need to learn specific words.
Yeah.
As I said, it could be when you go to the mechanic, it could be
Mhm.
when you go to the pharmacy, it could be when you do like daily stuff. So it's daily challenges, you know.
Yeah.
And also, as we were talking about, one thing is just speaking English, a different language, a few minutes, like let's say 1 hour a day. One thing is speaking it 24/7. Where you start to get tired.
You can't
Your
raise
brain,
your hand
Yeah, you can't raise
and be like, what does this mean in
Yeah.
Italian?
Yeah,
Because
you
they're
know.
not gonna understand you.
You need, exactly. There's
you-
no another option. You have to make yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Do you feel more at home here right now than Italy? Can you call the UK home?
Oh, this is very difficult. Uh, if you were to ask me maybe in a few years from now, where I've got, let's say, a family, like my own, starting my own family and stuff, maybe it would be different. Right now, I definitely like my context. Um, of I do what I love for a living. Um, so I'm glad to be here because this allows me to do what I love for a living.
Yeah.
In Italy, it would be more difficult for me, I believe.
Yeah.
So
So right now you're in a bubble.
yeah, of course, it's only been for me 4 years. Let's say almost 5 years. You could say it's a long time, but I spent the first year basically in actual bubble because it was during COVID. So let's say effective it could be like 3 years
Yeah. Makes sense.
because first COVID, then lockdown again. So let's say 3 years. It's not enough time to, you know, it could be, but in my case, I don't still feel like I can call this place home.
Yeah.
Because there are a few things that are probably I'm not willing to compromise yet, maybe. But as I said, if you were to ask me in a couple of years from now, where other things will add
Yeah.
into my reality, maybe.
Maybe it's gonna be like that, or maybe you're gonna be gone by then.
You never
Who
know,
knows?
That's why you can always have a plan,
Yeah.
but things can change very quickly.
Hopefully not, because obviously you're one of my best friends here, and I'd hate to see you and other friends leave as well. But obviously I would respect that, and
Yeah.
I would wish all the best for you as well. But yeah.
But yeah,
Let's
yeah, sorry. Go on.
sorry, I was gonna say let's take a quick bathroom break, and we'll be back soon. And we're back now. We just needed a break, real quick. You were talking about being in this kind of bubble where you don't feel like a home. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
feel like it's your home just yet. Maybe in a few
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
if you add some.
I think I'm in that transition phase,
Yeah, you got a career now, though, right? What do you do
Yeah.
for a living? Do you wanna share that with everyone?
Yeah, I said earlier, I'm a personal trainer
Mm-hmm.
and online coach. So I work in a gym. And as I was saying, I do what I love for a living now. So this is definitely one thing that I appreciate a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for that. So this is definitely a positive of staying here. And yeah, I was saying that I don't know if I could do what I'm doing here back in Italy.
Why?
I don't know, a different context. I'm self-employed, and I think it would be a little bit more challenging. Maybe I could work in a gym. I don't know, to be honest, because I've never tried. But I think I'm in the position right now where I'm happy where I am,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe going back to Italy now, considering that the economical side is not maybe the best, so I would have to maybe readapt, start again, and fight with a few things here and there, and then making sure to make a living out of it, So I don't know. Right now, this is a positive for me here. Yeah, I was saying maybe a few things add on top, which could be like family, or a few other things, important things. But yeah, maybe then I decide. Then at that point I might feel this place like my home.
Do you
Right
find
now,
it-
I think I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Are you finding it hard to find your other half in here in the UK? Do you think it's because of their culture, or is it just because you're unlucky with that that side of life? Finding love, finding the.
No, that's not the problem. This will probably be a thing that could add to make this place feeling a bit more at home. But
Yeah.
it's not this the problem.
Hmm.
So the thing is this: you always have to make compromises, I believe. So you need to find the place where you find the best fit for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So right now, as I said, I'm in that transition phase. Is I like this about here. I like because I'm doing what I want for a living, and which allows me to do what I love, which is
Yeah.
training and pursuing my goal. And but there are a few things missing.
What are those things?
Family, weather, food is fine. I can deal with it. But yeah, mainly family, weather. But the thing is, if I move back to Italy, it would be me moving to my small village,
Yeah.
which to me right now it feels very restrictive.
What about another city in Italy?
But if I have to move to another city, I will still be away from my family, you know?
You might as well stay here then.
That's what I'm saying. So, ideally, I would like to have the best compromise for me, which could be having the possibility to do what I love for a living and be able to do what I love
Hmm.
for myself, which is training, let's say. But also, outside of this, I'm satisfied with the compromises I'm making.
Yeah.
Because right now I feel like it's probably again, I think it's probably a transition period, where I
Yeah.
feel like I'm lacking a few things, a couple of things. But again, things can change
Yeah.
in a few days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you ever think about your mortality? As in, do you ever think maybe if you die here, or would you like to die in Italy? I know we're young to be talking about stuff like that, but you never know what's gonna happen. You might just go across the street and a truck hits you tomorrow. Obviously, hopefully not, obviously, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think this is more of something that you've got in your mind. Because right now we are away. But let's say we were in Italy. We were where we grew up. I might not be happy with, spending my life there or thinking about dying there. Yeah, of course I would have my family. But apart from that, if you didn't spend the time of your life the way you wanted, the way you liked, the best compromise for you, then who cares where you die, you know?
Yeah.
But I know what you mean with this question. It's not just about dying; it's about
Yeah.
spending your life.
Yeah, I would just wonder if sometimes you find yourself thinking about death. Is there anything after that? Is there, does it push you to do something today rather than tomorrow, knowing that tomorrow might not be even here, and things like that. That's what I meant, really.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's like making sure that you're actually living
Mm-hmm.
and not surviving. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What is the most valuable thing you as a human have?
Relationships, for sure, I believe.
Is it?
Hmm?
Is in your opinion is relationships?
Yeah, 100%.
In my opinion, it's time.
Yeah. Of course, time is your own.
Yeah.
The only thing that you own.
Maybe I put the question in the wrong way.
But no. If you ask me, if you say, yeah, time, you will have it anyway. Let's hopefully.
Yeah, but we take it for granted, don't we?
Yeah. But what I mean is, what you value during that time, I would say relationship.
Right, makes sense.
Because everything else, as basically no meaning if you can't share it with the people you love. I've experienced this. People who live abroad have definitely experienced it. You can have whatever you wished for, but you are just on your own.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same. I
No,
believe.
I totally agree with you. Have you got dream that you pursuing or that you will pursue in a near future?
Dream. So I definitely would like to open a gym, my own
Nice.
gym. That would be nice.
How would you call it? Have you thought that far yet or no?
Not really,
Okay.
because I know that I've got a weird personality in a way that creative things like come like super quick
Yeah.
in a few seconds, and I know what to do.
Yeah.
Right now, just say I didn't get that click.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So,
I was just curious, so I
but
thought I'd
it
ask.
could be no. I don't have anything creative in mind right
Yeah.
now.
So opening a gym and
Yeah, opening a gym would be one of my goals for sure. Short-term goals, my own goals, competing in bodybuilding. I've never done it. I've done, gotten to a phase where was quite lean, let's say, but not on a competitive level.
Mhm.
Competitive, not competing with others.
Yeah.
Just for myself, it would be just an extra challenge for me. 'Cause, I enjoy like the challenge that comes with it, as well as the other aspect, which is growing, the
Yeah.
growing phase, but also like the cutting phase, the challenge with it. Yeah.
Some people don't understand how hard this kind of sport is, right? It's not really appreciated.
It depends on how you do it, but if you do it the proper way, where you want to optimize everything, you need to be a fucking robot.
Do you want to explain for the people who might not be familiar with bodybuilding, how does that work? For example, let's say I want to start today, right? I'm accustomed to the gym. I'm a regular goer, but I decide to actually compete. Take us to that journey.
What I would, now I'm 28, so I've taken this decision, being aware that I could never be competitive because I don't have the genetics to be competitive. What I'm saying with this, that first of all, you need to fall in love with training, because when you've got food, you do it just to enjoy it. It's fun, it's nice. But when you're in a state where you're super low energy, and it's difficult mentally. So first of all, make sure you fall in love with training. Make sure you actually like training in both scenarios. So definitely this. And don't do it for others to show others. Do it for yourself as a challenge. If you're doing it to show others, it would never last long.
Yeah.
Because then you get to the point where you actually realize how tough it is, and if you are not enjoying what you're doing, what's the point? You're just doing it to please others.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure you enjoy training. Make sure it's a passion to you, because if you are doing it for others, just pick something else, or just do it for fun, the way that makes you feel good about it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do it on a competitive level, or competing.
Yeah, but takes us to like a day. I understand what you're trying to say, but what my question was based on is take us to like a period of this training. Like, for example, how many times a week do you train? What kind of foods do you need to eat? Is it like a full year of training and then a few months of cutting, and then you can go to compete, or is it more of a 2-year period where the first year you're building mass and then 1 year you get lean and then the other year get some more mass again and then get lean? Does it make sense what I'm trying to ask? I'm curious about this. What's the process?
Before you start thinking about competing, but again, I've never competed, so I don't have that experience. But I think before you start competing, you need to spend a few years training, build actually some muscles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. So a few years of training first, again, see if you enjoy it, and then if you want to take it to the next level to compete, um, you need a few years of training to build some muscles. Then you can start. The thing is, one thing actually that I thought the other day, if you wait, you could always get better year by year. If you wait, you can always get better. So after you've built a good base, if you want to compete, if you've got the goal to compete, just do it. It's always an experience, you know. Then you compete, you get the feedback from the judges. Maybe they say you are too small, you need to grow more muscles. If you want to be a bit more competitive, then you've got the actual goal, you know. You got the feedback, you know what to do, you do it. Once you get to the point, you might start thinking competing again.
Yeah.
If you want to. What was I saying?
No, like my question was totally different to what you're building up to it, right?
Yeah, I'm building up to it.
Because a lot of people, they say, "Oh, I don't want to lift a lot of weights because I don't want to get too big." No, mate, you're wrong. You're not gonna get that big.
No,
like it's hard to get big. It's hard. There's people that,
unless you're super genetically gifted, it's hard.
Forgetting about that, but there's people that don't want to go to the gym because they say, "Oh, I don't want to get too bulky," and in the meantime, there's people training at the gym 6 times a week, eating like crazy calories and trying to actually get some muscles in, and it's hard.
Yeah,
some people don't realize how hard it is to actually build muscles, and that's what I was trying to get, because obviously you're a PT, but you know how hard
what I was saying
is.
It depends on the goal.
Yeah, that's what that was my question. Like, if you, for someone that is looking to compete, it must be even harder than someone that just it's a goer to the gym. Does it make sense?
What do you mean harder?
Well, surely if you're looking to compete, you're
harder, like in terms of actual effort.
Yeah, in general. Because if I'm a normal goer, I go 3 to 4 times a week, just because of I just want to keep fit. I just want to keep moving. I just want to keep my joints healthy and my muscle going. Then I just go to the gym 4 times a week. I ask you as a PT, make me like a schedule, a plan, and I'll just go to the gym on my own, put some headphones in, do my workout, go back home, done. But someone who's actually looking to compete, it must be way harder than that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the difference between a normal goer and someone who actually wants to compete is how a priority becomes to you, because you then start to take actions to make sure that you optimize everything to get the most out of it.
So what are those actions? That's what I'm asking. I am ignorant. I don't know anything about it.
You want balance in a way that you want to kill yourself in the gym, but you also want to allow your body to recover. This is probably the most important thing. Like, make sure that you are recovering from your training, from your daily activities, whatever. So in order to make this, you have to have a regular schedule, so your body is used to it, and it's got exactly like a structure that it's used to it, where it can actually recover from. So basically, as I was saying, you need to be a robot in a way if you want to optimize things. To be as performing as possible, to get the most out of it. It should be meal time, the timing of the meals, potentially always the same.
Oh my god, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I'm talking about optimizing everything.
Yeah.
So to make sure you've got a steady schedule, to keep the body in balance, to making sure that digestion is there, recovery is there. Training is probably the easiest part.
Is it?
It's the funniest part, let's say. It's the part where you can have more fun. And it's 2 hours max, 2 hours and a half max a day.
Every day, yeah?
No. It depends. It depends on many things. It depends on how long you've been training for, and how much time you got available, how a priority could be for you, how your recovery is. It depends on many things.
Right, makes
My
sense.
case, I train 5 times a week.
Right. You're talking about
S-
food.
So yeah, they're taking care of all of everything else that is around training.
Yeah.
'Cause training is just the easy part, as I was saying. It's just 2 hours a day. All the rest is 24 hours.
Yeah.
24/7 thing because you need to be organized.
Yeah.
This probably the hardest part.
It's a constant wheel that is turning, right?
Yeah.
Gotta think about wake up, gotta think about food you're gonna eat, and then the digestion after, and then training, and then rest, and then it's hard when you
And
take it
then,
seriously. It's hard,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
It is. It is. It requires good structure, good
Yeah.
organization for sure.
How many calories a day do you eat?
Right now, training days about 4,000 calories.
4,000 calories.
Non-training days, 3.2, 3.3.
And you're not fat at all because you're
Yeah, but it's
consuming.
just something that you build up. It's not like one day you wake up and gonna eat 4,000 calories.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I'm talking for like people that they just wanna. There might be people that they don't know anything about this and they're eating like 4,000 calories a day, but they're not exercising as much.
Mm.
And maybe they see themselves
Yeah.
gaining some weight and they're like, "Oh, why is that happening?" So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a calorie deficit, right?
Apart from this, it's eating based on your needs.
Yeah,
It's not eating as much as you can.
yeah. Also, it's the quality of the food that you eat, right?
As well, yeah,
If you
definitely.
eat Mackey's every day and then you complaining about your weight, then there must be a problem
Yeah,
there.
it always depends on how your diet is structured. It's not the single meal. It's how you structure
Yeah.
your diet and how the caloric intake.
Yeah,
So yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, the
Yeah,
quality of
makes
food
sense.
definitely makes a difference, especially in digestion.
Yeah.
Because I've got very sensitive digestive system. So
Did you digest last night meal? For everyone who
Yeah.
doesn't know, we went to
Actually,
a
I did.
Caribbean place. It was very spicy, very, very strong flavors.
Spicy.
Yeah, I loved the fish, the curry fish, and the steaks. But some of our friends had some hard time digesting that stuff.
Yeah.
But you were right, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
okay. It was
I'm
okay
okay
because
too.
I mean I had fish, so
Yeah,
it's very easy to
quite
digest.
easy. Yeah.
So yeah, in my case, as I said, the quality of food is important in general because consider about this: if you put quality fuel, good quality input, you will have quality output.
Yeah, that is real.
So, but yeah, because your body will start working in a better way
Yeah.
in general.
What is your favorite food from Calabria? Not from Italy, from your region.
That's easy question, easy answer.
Go on then.
Nduja.
Nduja. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
And how is it spelled? First of all, for people who wants to research it. Actually, I'm gonna put a picture, showing what Nduja is. But would you care to explain?
So, how do you apostrophe? How is it in English? I can't remember.
The apostrophus. I think it's
yeah, let's say that
apostrophus.
thing. Nduja.
So N apostrophus.
No, apostrophus Nduja.
And what's before the apostrophus?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought it was N
No, it's
apostrophus Nduja.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I'll just say Nduja.
Nduja.
Yeah.
And we had Rosella here, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's from Calabria as well. She was talking about this Nduja.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said that every family has got their own way
Yeah.
to make this kind of.
Yeah, the homemade one, could
Yeah.
be slightly different depending on the family, the way they do it.
Does your family have their own secret recipe that you don't want to share, or do you guys make it at all?
It's definitely different from the commercial one.
Mm.
The commercial one maybe since goes to the bigger market,
Yeah.
it can be as spicy.
So you like it very spicy?
A good spicy, which probably for someone could be very spicy. Of course, commercial because it's sold to the bigger market. It's less spicy than a homemade one.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the whole internet sandwiches did you eat at once with
Oh
nduja?
shit! I actually got sick once.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I had 10 sandwiches when I was a
And
kid. I was like 13, 14. I got super sick.
guys, sandwiches is not like the bread that you guys know here from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
loaf of bread. In Italy, we have panini. We have a lot of different types of bread. I'm gonna put a picture.
Mine was
What bread
homemade
was it?
bread.
Was it a loaf or was it like
Like slices, but like
Oh right,
thick slices.
right, okay. Because in Italy we have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tartarughe,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
No,
a
that
lot of
was
type of bread.
my grandma's homemade bread.
That must have
Sourdough.
been delicious. That must have been
So
delicious.
homemade bread,
Yeah,
and oh yeah, my favorite meal of all.
10 of them.
Yeah, 10 of them got sick,
Oh my god.
and yeah, got sick for couldn't eat for a couple of days.
Yeah,
I almost
died.
yeah. They basically the doctors told me that my what is called um, appendix
Yes,
was inflamed, so it was very close to for me to
bursting.
get a
Yeah,
surgery and stuff.
because of that meal.
Yeah, I had
My
so much.
god.
Yeah.
How did you get 10 sandwiches in your stomach in the first place?
It was not all at once, throughout the day. Mid afternoon till the evening. I was like, as I said, I was 13, 14, so in the the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, no.
You're like fucking black hole.
I used to eat everything at that age
Yeah,
too. Like, I was fat. I was proper fat at that age. To a point where I did not take my t-shirt off at the beach because I was just so ashamed of myself. But I still eat like normal. I was ashamed, but loved the
Yeah,
food at
yeah.
the same time. So what can you do? You just eat. You're Italian, you just eat. Yeah. I wanted to talk about festivals in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any festivals there as well that you would bring here, maybe, if you could?
One thing that I don't see here is are they called patronal
Mm-hmm.
festivals and stuff? Yeah, where you
The
celebrate
saints of
saints
the village.
So that's one thing I don't see. That would be nice.
You want to talk about your village festival or somewhere near your village that you remember?
Oh
that
yeah.
you like?
Speaking of Duya, there's probably one of the biggest festivals in Calabria for sure.
So it's a
probably
food festival.
Food festival, yeah.
Right.
It's massive.
There's food festivals here as well.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Is
about.
it the same?
I don't know if it's the same.
It's
It
like
can be the
what I
same,
mean
but-
by food festival is specific on a thing. It could be
Yeah,
in Duya,
you
it could
call it
be
It's called a sagra.
Sagra in Italian.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
Yeah, apart from this, there's also patronal festivals, as I was saying, which could be different. Yeah, I've never seen this sort of stuff.
is there any in your town?
Yeah,
How is it called?
so there were a few. I don't know if they're doing them now, to be honest, but the one from my village, which is called San Calogero, which
What
is
do
a
you mean?
saint,
You don't know if they're doing them now.
because of course you need to organize them.
Right.
You know.
Right. The organizers, you don't know if they're.
Yeah, I
okay.
don't know if they're doing them.
Okay.
No.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, yeah, there were a few, which actually were good memories. Because when I was a kid, most of them were during summer,
Right.
and of course during winter, not
Yeah.
ideal. So yeah, during summer, consider like 3-4 months. Like when I was a kid, there were many actually, many sort of festivals where everyone was going out.
Yeah.
The village was super packed, busy.
Yeah.
People coming from other villages as well, and same for me moving to other villages when they had their own.
Yeah. With a lot of like stands with like different foods,
Different
some
foods, as well as toys
and toys
actually.
and koi
I've got
fish.
so
You
many.
could do koi fishes as well. I don't know if that was a thing in your village, but some places had like corks, right? They were like, imagine like a square, right, with a lot of corks. and you pay a certain amount, and you can like flip them. And if they had like some paint, if you collected like, I don't know, 3 of them out of 5, you could win 1 or 2 koi fish, like goldfish, not koi fish,
Oh yeah, I know what
goldfish.
you mean.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did
And
you have this as well? And then you just
yes,
like go around with this goldfish that you win.
When I
And
was a kid,
right,
I got 2 goldfish.
yeah, it's illegal now, obviously, but
It's illegal. I don't know.
I mean here it is. I don't know if in Italy they're still doing
And
that.
so I won those 2 fishes and a duck, little duck.
I won a duck too, which I had. She died of old age.
Mine too, I think.
Yeah, she was like, we had it for a lot of years, and we got her a companion as well. Funny thing, the back of at the back of, let me start again. At the back of our garden, I went there one day, and I discovered a massive pile of eggs. I just ran inside. I was like, Mom, there's so many eggs in there. And she was like, don't lie to me, because I was a nasty liar when I was a little kid. I was like very nasty in a good way as a kid. And she did not believe me. I was like, I swear to God, there's so many eggs from Camilla. We called her Camilla, the little duck. And she was like, nah, I don't believe you. I said, give me a bowl. I just went with a bowl and I just filled it up and brought it inside. And she went like, oh my gosh, she's laying eggs. Because we never saw her laying eggs. And apparently she used to go like at the back of the garden to do that. And it was like full of eggs. And from there, we never had to buy eggs anymore.
Like, you got rich. Like
They weren't golden, mate.
Oh,
they
no.
were just normal eggs. Duck eggs. Yeah, they were delicious though. I remember that.
They're massive.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, not massive, but definitely bigger than.
Yeah. No, yeah, there's good memories. We just go there and like flip the corks, and they were like.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was nice.
Good memories.
Going out with friends.
I was a kid when these things happened. When I was a teenager, I did not go as much to see these things. But
Same.
I remember as a kid holding my nan's hand and going around, oh, can you please buy me that? Can you please buy me that? You know, to all the toys that I saw around.
Yeah, I had so many like animal toys. So many.
Yeah. A lot of good memories. One last question for you. What would you suggest to someone that is looking to change his life, maybe moving abroad?
If it's something that you want to do, you feel like you want to experience it, of course do it. I would definitely suggest to do it. You can always go back if you don't like it,
What if it's someone that cannot go back to it?
At that point you don't have any choice, you know. But what I would suggest, if you are planning to move, at least it's something that it's in the back of your head, you want to do it, like, something that at some point you would like to do, definitely do it. Have a little bit of a plan. So of course, as I said, I didn't have any specific plan when I moved here, but I had my brother, so I could stay with him. So I had a little bit of, plan. So definitely if you're planning to move, it could be for any reason. It could be to experience a new culture, new place. It could be to move away from your actual reality, which you don't like, you don't feel comfortable with, and then you maybe want to try something different to see if it actually goes better. Definitely do it. Yeah, do it. Life is just one. At least that's what we are aware of.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can always go back. You can always find other ways to find other solutions. But if you never do it, you will probably have the regret of not doing it, I believe.
That is true and beautiful. And I think with this we can wrap it up for today. What do you reckon?
We could, yeah. I was enjoying it, but yeah. I mean, it's probably been a couple of hours.
Yeah. I think it's been an hour and 50 minutes now.
I'm starting to mix Italian and English.
Yeah,
so.
Same. Well, mate, honestly, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for accepting and
having me.
sharing your story. And do you want to leave your website or Instagram because you are a PT that can give some advice online as well. Do you want to share with people?
It will be My Instagram, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. If you want to,
You reply on Instagram as
yeah,
well and
yeah.
give
If you
plans
want
here.
to get in touch with me, it'll be my full name. So Giuseppe
Mhm.
Vallone.
Mhm.
Dash, how is it called? The under no, the not the normal
Underscore
dash.
thing.
Underscore coach.
Giuseppe
Or
Vallone
it
underscore
should be
coach.
something like that. I'm
Coach.
not entirely sure because it's a long one. In case you can always
I will
link it.
put the link in the description in case you guys want to text him for some advice. If you guys want a plan for the gym and everything like that, you can text him. He's a great guy. Obviously, you can't tell from his arms, but it looks really. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for listening to it, and I will see you to the next episode. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.